This is episode 6 of the Heavenly Tea. I'm just going to come and talk a little bit more about this thing, confidence, I spoke about last time, but it's wrapped up in trust, self-trust. And I realise this is something so underappreciated and so little talked about. It maybe in the worlds of personal development we talk about it, but we never really talk about how it works, how you get it. And because I work with children, I want them to get this completely as a child. And I see completely and all the time reflected around me in the world of the adults that this is some kind of strange essence that's really hard to come by, self-trust. And it's only the self-trust in the person themselves, but also in what's going on in the world, the synchronous experiences which are happening to you, where this is a really, really valuable, important thing. Now, I've chosen to film myself like this way today because it means I don't have to put lots of makeup on and I want to go and play in the garden. There's nothing crazier than putting a whole makeup on for filming and then going out and getting your trousers on and start digging in the earth. So that's why you're seeing me like this. It works for film. It might get very bright sometimes, so just forgive me and enjoy it. It's just a show. It's a way of seeing an image while you're hearing these words. So the personal trust and the trust of the situation. If you are anchored into your inner being, your spirit, the thing which is you, the part of what we would call source, God, which is uniquely you, then it's like you have a line of connection, a line of communication. And there's always a flow of information from you and source, because you and source are the same. It's just you're a little outpost of source in an exploratory manner. So when you're in that state, when there is this recognition and knowing of this connection, that's the sense of trust. So if a mistake happens, something that shouldn't happen in your world, you realize that actually this is a really interesting moment and it's worth examining, because usually those mistakes aren't mistakes. They're not even mistakes. They're usually information. Yet the world around us tells us a mistake is a bad thing to be avoided. And if we make a mistake on behalf of someone else, we must grovel and profusely apologize. And yet I would say a mistake, if you make it on behalf of someone else, so you are a co-conspirator, a co-creator in that mistake with them. The two of you are involved in it, and that means it's the sum of the internal direction and receptivity from both of your spirits working together to create that. Now, this happened to me recently. I hope you can see the mechanics of that. I might draw a little diagram here and insert it. But if you are making a mistake with someone else, that means they and you, both of your energy sources, both of your energy bodies are involved in this process. And it's highly likely that there is something bigger going on than just a mistake. Mistakes, we tend to think, if it's a different outcome to that which we intended, are hurtful and wrong and should be avoided at all costs. But if you truly go and analyze your life, you'll find that the mistakes are where you've discovered things, learned things, and expanded. So a mistake is usually something very, very useful. It's always very interesting the way we call words, our spelling, mistake, all the misses, misogynist, mysterious. There's a lot of different miss sounds in our words, and of course we call young women miss. It's all tied up in the way that we're taught to perceive the essence of that feminine. That's another topic. But when this mistake is discovered, the usual thing is to go and blame and shame, and to find a way of scraping back that which is lost. It's a loss. And I say, no. Let's have a look. Something happened here. What happened? What can we gain from it? And usually it will open up another pathway in a slightly different direction, which is probably what you needed to acknowledge and explore anyway. So this happens to me rarely, but when it happens, as I explained to my colleague recently, I keep my eyes and ears wide open, because usually if I make a mistake, something else interesting is happening. It's about synchronicity. Now, I can say that because I'm conscious every day, almost every moment, I want to be who I am. That sounds odd, doesn't it? But we're all wanting to be ourselves. But what I mean is, I'm always looking to align myself into that center anchor of being, into that center anchor of awareness of what we are: love, generosity, creativity, exploration, expansion. That's the true essence of the human being. So if that's where you're coming from and you make a mistake, if you're not stressed out but you're doing your best, you're doing your well-intentioned work, and something happens, then that's a really interesting moment to look at. And if someone labels it as anything other than positive and expansive, then it's worth having a look. So I was asked to grovel with shame about this mistake, and I said, no, of course I'm going to apologize, because it upset this person's expectation of what was supposed to happen. Of course I'm going to apologize, because it shows my responsibility. Of course I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to say that very clearly, but I'm not going to debase myself because of it happening. I'm going to explore what it might lead to and present that to that person. Now that's positive forward thinking, that's progress. And that comes because I have that inner connection, the self-trust. So I said at the beginning, this is all about trust, and it is. It's about the power of it and what it can do for you in your life. And how you get it is you keep holding on to the knowledge that yes, you are the spirit within. You are a part, not a part, but you are of source energy. You are created. And what is source energy? It's expansion. It's that which gives us joy and goodness. It gives everything, of course. But if you take the part nearest to source, you're going to find the higher vibrations, the joy, the expansion, the awareness, the love. Those are the emotions or the message state we get when we're nearer to that. And if you get further away from it, you get the fainter echoes, which go all the way down to the very negative emotions. That's just like getting further away from the candle, less easy to read your book. Getting further away from the light source, less easy to see what you're doing. So trust is about willfully believing and cultivating the knowing that you are created of source. You are a part of it. You are that which loves. You are that which creates. You are that which nourishes. You are that which nurtures. And as you hold that belief in your mind, you find you practice it. And then if you want, yes, you get feedback from others, which is wonderful. You shouldn't rely on it. It should be coming from you, your own direct experience, but you will get feedback. And it will be about your nurturing, about your kindness, about your generosity. It will be, but don't rely on that. It should be from the inner experience that you build up this strong knowing, this feeling, and every day, every moment you can think of, you adjust to that. That means you will operate from a state of trust. You will be able to engender it in others around you. So when they're in doubt, when they're in fear, when they're in hesitation, nervousness, anxiety, you can invite them gently into the trust and show them how it's done. And that is what I do at the Speaking House. It's what we're going to be doing in the Heavenly Teas. So come and join me again. Hopefully I've got some of my guests soon. They've all been a little bit ill, tricky to arrange things, but it will happen. Meanwhile, I'm sharing my wisdom beads, and I have quite a lot of those. Please go and find my website. I've got lots of lovely books for your children and for you, especially if you're working with children and you want to find ways of working with them in very open awareness and helping them to find their own creativity, intuition, and self-trust. Thanks so much. See you soon. Bye.